Sometimes it makes me sad, though, Andy being gone. I have to remind myself that some birds aren't meant to be caged. Their feathers are just too bright. And when they fly away, the part of you that knows it was a sin to lock them up does rejoice. But still, the place you live in is that much more drab and empty that they're gone. I guess I just miss my friend. Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And I'm Lucy Hewitt.
And she's straight.
Oh.
She's straight.
And our special guest today, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I'm actually here live. It's not even a good impression, but it's worth it just to say some of these astoundingly good lines. This is undoubtedly my favourite film of all time. I've go through periods intermittently where I sort of lie. Well, no, I don't lie. I always say, I wish as a film buff I had a more interesting choice, but it is Shawshank. And I've come fully around. There is no shame. This is the greatest film ever made. It's my favourite film. I'm out. I am what I am.
By the power vested in me by the state of Maine, I hereby order you to serve 2 life sentences back to back, 1 for each of your victims. So be it.
Andy came to Shawshank prison in 1947.
Why'd you do it?
I didn't, since you ask.
You can fit right in.
I must admit, I didn't think much of Andy first time I laid eyes on him. He had a quiet way about him.
This is the greatest film I've made. It's my favourite film. Will, where do you sit?
It's up there. It's
not as good as Chicken Run, though, is it?
It's not as good as. I mean, 2 prison escape movies. One's better than the other, and it is Chicken Run.
Oh yeah.
You haven't got a maniacal farmer figure, have you? Is that a word?
Maniacal is, yeah.
Maniacal. Thank you.
Muppets. Maniacal laugh.
Another
Maniacal
great movie.
laugh.
No, this is a perfect movie. Absolutely.
Lucy, you're quite new to this.
Yeah.
Family movie nights, and then you messaged the group chat saying, "Oh, we're doing Shawshank," and you were very blasé. Mm-hmm. And I tried to illuminate to you that you were going to have a religious experience.
A walk and a talk that just wasn't normal around here.
There are places in the world that aren't made out of stone. There's something inside they can't touch.
What are you talking about?
Hope.
Let me tell you something, my friend. Hope is a dangerous thing.
Damn it, dear friend, you're putting me behind.
But you passed me off.
I did. I've only seen it once. And it was my dad that made me watch it. The night previous, I'd made my entire family watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they all hated it. So at that time, I hated my family, and I really did not want to sit down and watch a film with them for, is it 2 hours 20?
2 hours. It's the quickest 2 hours 22 ever.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling sitting down with them and watching it. But it was great.
And it all starts with that great opening line. Mr. Dufresne, describe the confrontation you had with your wife the night she was murdered. When you first saw it then, Lucy, because when I first saw it, I was very, very young. I was in my old house, and it was on a TV that wasn't flat screen, and it went out about that much at the back. And I think I was old enough where it was like questionable whether I should be watching it. My sister's 2 years younger, and so the thing with Isabel was, oh, she won't remember it. It's fine. So if I'm remembering it rightly, I think Isabel was 6 and I was 8. And it was Channel 4, so it was like 9:30, and we were all sat around as a family. This film contains strong language and graphic violence from the start. And my dad just went, Sarah, turn it off. Sarah, this isn't right. And then new fish scene starts. Oh, you fucking fat ass, come here! It's like,
I drive a man insane.
You better be sick or dead in there, I kid you not!
I better get used to that idea.
Oh, my holy God.
I guess it comes down to a simple choice, really. Get busy living, or get busy dying.
Get busy living, or get busy dying. That's damn right.
and my dad just went, Sarah, this isn't right. And I watched it until I think Brooks dying, and then we put the VHS in and taped it. And all day, I was at school, and I was like, ooh, how is it going to get out? Best 10-minute stretch.
The escape scene's nice. It's a nice scene.
It's
Pretty. I think there's no other answer to that, is there?
I think it is the escape. Runners up, Bud's on the roof, shuffling the tar. And it's not maybe the most rewatchable, but Brooks's leaving the prison.
Yeah, we're going to say Brooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Brooks was here. Oh, poor James Whitmore. I mean, James Whitmore's not dead, I should say. Poor Brooks. Yeah, unequivocally, though, it's the escape. I think from cell morning, like, and in a frame, you better be sick or dying in there, I kid you not. From that point onwards until the end of the film, that final half hour, unassailable. It is incredible. And I'm going to bust one of my big questions now. When people say happiest moments and stuff, you know, you always think of, like, I don't know, there's something about Mary, like the dog scene, or like comedies or something, or You When Harry Met Sally's. For me, the two happiest scenes of all time that make me happy is that final 30 of Shawshank, and just the release and the joy of seeing this man who has overcome so much break free and drive down the Pacific to a place with no memory, or it's Wonderful Life, the final scene of It's Wonderful Life. Both of those, perfection.
I'm very sorry to stop you there, Tom, but just to clear things up with our viewers, James Whitmore is in fact dead. He died in 2009.
No.
It's like, was it that ITV show, The Masked Singer, when they have to, there's like...
When they brought James Whitmore's corpse?
No, the premise is they've got all these celebrities dressed up in masks, and the judges have to guess.
I know,
there was an episode
The
where...
Masked Singer is, well, it's been one of the most popular things in the past year.
Very, but there was an episode where Jonathan Ross was like, I think it's Natalie Cole, who's been dead about 5 years, and there was just outrage.
Why would they keep it in? It's not like they don't have editing software.
That is hilarious.
Oh. Yeah, where Jonathan Ross said, is that James Whitmore? Is that Brooks from Shawshank?
I thought that's where you were going with it.
Yeah, is that Brooks Hatland from the Shawshank Redemption?
I mean, not 10 minutes, but when the warden shoots himself, that's for me the best point in the whole film, because
I've got that in single minute. We do have the category of single minute.
Yeah, that'd be it for me, because Andy escaping, I didn't get that sense of relief when he's standing in the rain and it's all pouring down him, because in my head my heart was still beating. I was going, get away from there, they're going to find you, they're going to capture you. In my head they were going to recapture him, so I was like, get away, run, like just keep going. But yeah, the warden shooting himself, amazing.
Incredible. Slam down of the newspaper, corruption, greed at Shawshank Redemption. DA has file. And then he looks straight away.
Sirens come in. Wow.
And that judgment, his judgment come right soon. And he goes over, straight over. Never looked at his books, because why would you? He's got bigger things on his mind. He opens it up. That's not a ledger. It's the Holy Bible. Flicks it. You were right, Warden. Salvation lies within. It's incredible. And then he flips it, and he gets his gun. Is he going to shoot them? What? He seems like a respectable man, as much as it is. You didn't think it would end in a big blood fight, and then I'd like to think the last thing that went through Warden Norton's head, other than that bullet, was wondering how Andy Dufresne ever got the best of him. Incredible. Opening court trial. Don't you find that very convenient? Well, since I'm on trial for murder, I find it decidedly inconvenient. He doesn't do himself many favours in that court trial. He is very cold. I mean, I know that he's got a lot of evidence against him, but also he looks like a murderer. I mean, I know he's on trial and he's mined and he must be going through tremendous depression and anxiety, and it's insane what he's going through, as well as the grief of losing his wife, whether she was cheating or not. But he also is very stiff.
Yeah, you see, I thought he was guilty to start off
I
with.
was going to say this because I've long since forgot because I was a small child. But yeah, at what point? I mean, obviously Elmo Blatch, one of the great character names of all time. But did you think all the way up till Elmo that he was guilty?
Yeah. It was always in my head. I didn't know whether it was going to be, could be guilty or could not. You never find out if it was or wasn't. But at the beginning I did think, yeah.
I think a good way that they let you feel such empathy for these people is that you never know why they're in there. Apart from obviously Andy and Tommy. But it's just a lot more complex film. And I think in a way that removes some of the complexity of the story and some of the complexity of them being prisoners and you feeling sympathy for them.
Yeah, morally, is that right to feel sympathy towards them? Because I was thinking that throughout the whole film.
Knife in the jaw. I know it's weird to say it's one of my favourite parts because it's a rape scene, but I do like when Andy gives him the science and he says, if you stab that, then my jaw will clench shut and you will have to pry me loose.
Like Crow.
So, yeah. So in many ways, it's one of my favourite scenes. The Gilda hair flip. I mean, who doesn't love Rita Hayworth? And that, Gilda, are you decent? Ooh, me?
Gilda, are you decent?
Me?
Incredible. The turning up the music on The Marriage of Figaro.
Oh, yeah.
And he leans back.
Oh my God, there's so many good parts.
It's an incredible film.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
The river, as much as you were riddled with anxiety, just that he doesn't care. Just the rain coming out here rips his shirt off. I mean, come on, Andy, pick up that suit and in the plastic bag and just put that on the side of the river. But instead of just standing there in the shit swamp. But just the rain. And I love when the music dips out for just a second and you just hear him go, it's great stuff.
The buds on the roof with you can get 35 grand. That's all of that is wonderful.
That he does himself no favours there either. He should not open up with the line, "Do you trust your wife?"
Well, it's like we were saying with Indecent Proposal. With I went to see him. And
yeah, I mean, I know it's a film, but these people need to get better opening lines when they're dealing with volatile people. And he needs to open it with, "I'm a banker. I know how you can have that money." Not, "Do you think your wife would hamstring you?" Oh.
I love Andy's little smile when he's spoilers when he escapes, and he's sat at the bank getting his money, and he's just like, "I've got Morgan looking at him at the end on the beach.
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I have a controversial opinion. I think the movie should have ended before they met.
Well, that's the alternate ending.
I didn't like the beach scene.
Yeah. Well, that's the original ending. That's how the film was supposed to end, because that's how the book ends. It ends with him on the bus. I hope I'll see my friend again. I hope. And they saw all the test screenings, and basically the studio said, we will give you another $1 million to go to a foreign beach and shoot that scene. I like the scene. I do think it's needed.
Do you?
Yeah. I just think it's the final note, isn't it, on the symphony?
I've got Red's monologue at the end in 1966, and if Rain escaped the whole. He only did it in 20 years. I think that little chunk of.
I would have thought it would take 600 years to tunnel through the wall of one of those. It took Andy less than 20.
The scene where Tommy's killed.
Yeah.
That I literally screamed.
Oh, so, that's the scream then. There we go. Like the YouTube comment. There we go. We figured it out.
There's Lucy's comment.
It was me. Yeah, screamed at the TV.
It's just. Do you swear that you will testify?
No, say no. Yeah.
And what does he say? That's what I thought. Pats him on the back. Single second glance to Hadley. Puts the cigarette out. Warden. Evil. And then that leads into one of my favourites. But we'll get to it in best single minute. But when the warden comes to see Andy in solitary, is one of the best monologues of all time in a film. Any film, flawless. Best picture, Forrest Gump, Four Weddings, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, Shawshank. Forrest Gump is the fourth best film there. I'm going Shawshank, Pulp, Quiz Show, Forrest Gump.
It's one of those it was just unfortunately a great year. Any other year, it would have won.
Best director, not even a nomination for Frank Darabont. That's
terrible.
Maddening. Best actor, oh my good God. Tom Hanks for Forrest Gump. Again, he's fine. But Morgan Freeman, come on, man. And also, let's get to this now. Where's Tim Robbins?
Oh.
Neither supporting or best actor. Absolutely maddening. And also,
John Travolta.
We do get John Travolta.
That shouldn't have been a nomination.
No, he's good in that. I mean, he's not as good as.
He's not good enough to be nominated for an Oscar.
No.
In Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis. That should have been the supporting.
Well, Bruce is good. And Will's favourite building or set. I'm excited to hear what you think this time, Will.
Well, I'm spoiled for choice. Do you know what? It's Shawshank Prison.
What if you were being more specific? Favourite part of Shawshank Prison?
I like the shot where you've got all of the rooms at the sides, and you've got that's nice. But there's also the library. The library's nice.
Brooke Hatland Memorial Library.
That's what you want to be.
When Red is carving Brooks's name, gets me every time. It's Brooke Hatland Memorial Library. Beautiful. Best single minute. It's either poster reveal, but I do love shoe reveal. When Warden Norton flips his shoebox and it's those mucky shoes, and then he looks up and the siren starts, and you go, he's done it. And then it's straight into, I want him found, and everybody on this Cell interview, starting with that little friend of his, who? Him! Points to straight out.
Well, poster reveal, Warden suicide, but I also really like that moment of optimism when Tommy acquits Andy, that sudden change in, and you see him, whoa, And
but you never there's not a beat where you get that relief because it's straight into him going to see the warden. That's an incredible story. What I found more incredible is that you were taken in by it. And then, how can you be so obtuse? What did you just call me? Obtuse? Is it deliberate?
The bank scene when he's sat there, and it took me a while, to clock how amazing he is in creating a full identity. And then once I did clock it, brilliant.
And then, can you put this in your outgoing mail? It'd be my pleasure.
Yep.
Beautiful. I mean, he does very well to not stink a shit. He must have some industrial strength shower.
Bath of bleach.
Yeah, and to drag that. I mean, that's the only nitpick in the entire world.
You'd put it in front of you, wouldn't you? And you'd push it with you.
Oh, do you think he's worried he'll lose it?
Yeah, he's keeping it. Well, if you lose a suit,
because he's tied it around his shoe, so he'll feel it. He'll feel the rope loosen.
Actually, that would have been a great scene if it just suddenly.
And he has to go to the bank in his shitty clothes. Excuse me.
He gets to the end of the shit fight. He gets to the end and then he realises, shit, I've forgotten. I said he has to go backwards.
He crawled 7 miles that day. That's the length of 7 football fields because he had to go back 2 miles because he lost his shitty suit. Go on, Lucy. What were you going to say?
I didn't understand how it worked out so perfectly in that the thunder and lightning was happening on this day, which meant that he could break through the tube, which meant that no one heard him, which, do you know what I mean? It all sort of led up a bit too coincidentally.
Okay, we'll start this now. Just fire your nitpicks back and forth.
Yeah.
That
That's
doesn't
my
matter.
biggest bump.
He's got the library, so there'll be old records in the library that he can look at, weather reports, but also, even if there's not thunder, there will be some sort of sound.
Yeah, also,
who's going to hear bang, bang, bang? Sorry, what?
Well, they're going to hear it because he's using the thunder to mask it, but then the thunder and lightning happens, he waits about 5 seconds, and then he hammers. You do it, you want to sync up. That is my nitpick.
What if he did the Chinatown? What if he did the Chinatown where he coughs to rip the page out, and he just thinks his cough will be loud enough, and then he realizes his plan's gone wrong. He's like, bang! Oh no! Oh, they can't hear it. And then why didn't Scary Movie or something do a gag where somebody's going to do the pipe and he doesn't get out of the way in time? Maybe you could give James Whitmore like the Anthony Hopkins, the Ned Beatty getting nominated for only 5 minutes of work in Network. Maybe give him a supporting actor nomination. I just don't see why this isn't a Godfather, where you had 3 nominations in the Best Actor. You had Brando for Best Actor, and then in Best Supporting, you had Pacino, Caan, and Duvall, I think. Is Andy Dufresne the nicest man in the world?
Why did he do that? I thought that. Why did he choose to get beers for the boys when he could have used that to his advantage and done something else?
Like what?
Because he wants to get the inmates on his side as well.
And he's a nice man.
Mm.
What would you have done then?
I don't know. The selfish part of me. I don't know. Got some. I don't know.
Got a nicer cell.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mackies.
Yeah, got cigarettes or you know what I mean. Something.
Because he gets enough favour because he gets in with all the racketeering. Well,
can I have some racks?
Well, what? I see you two all the time. You're thick as thieves, you are. I'm sure by now you've heard. Terrible thing. Man that young less than a year ago, trying to escape. Broke Captain Hadley's heart to shoot him. Truly it did. We just have to put it behind us. Move on. I'm done. Everything stops. Get someone else to run your scams. Nothing stops. Nothing. or you will do the hardest time there is. No more protection from the guards. I'll pull you out of that one bunk Hilton and cast you down with the sodomites. You'll think you've been fucked by a train. And the library? Gone. Sealed off, brick by brick. We'll have ourselves a little buck barbecue in the yard. They'll see the flames for miles. We'll dance around it like wild Indians. You understand me? Catching my drift? Or am I being obtuse?
We've got a few. We've got Andy Dufresne who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. Great. We've got, I like it when he says, on the outside I was an honest man, but I had to come to prison to be a crook. That's a great line. I think one of my favorites is Brooks when he says, easy peasy Japanesey. That's a great one. Because he just can't find anything else to rhyme. I like when he's like, when do we eat? You eat when you eat, you piss when you piss. And that,
you shit when we say you shit, you mega dick motherfucker.
Yes.
You barrel of monkey spunk.
I like, I want to go, I want my mother. I had your mother. She wasn't that great. That's a good one.
The one that got me a little bit was how often do you look at a man's shoes?
I say that all the time. Me and my family say that all the time now.
Really?
Every time anybody mentions my shoes, or my mum's like, you can't wear, like, I haven't got any socks or whatever, and I put white socks on with black shoes or something, just to, because I haven't got any socks. She'll go, what are you doing? I'll say, how many times do you actually look at a man's shoes?
I thought that was a bit of a fault with it, because I think I'd notice if someone's walking with shiny shoes that are clopping on the floor, you know, I think I'd pick up on that. Yeah.
No, you don't, do you? It's the 1940s. People aren't wearing Alexander McQueen. I don't look at people's shoes. I mean, maybe I don't give a shit. To tell you the truth, I don't give a shit. The opening helicopter shot, astounding. Well, it's not exactly the opening, but can you name the 3 women posters?
Rita.
Full names.
Hayworth.
Yep.
And I cannot name you another.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, I was going to say that.
And Raquel Welch, the one that gets ripped down. Andy and Red's opening chat in the prison yard, in which Red is throwing a baseball, took 9 hours to shoot. Morgan Freeman threw the baseball for the entire 9 hours without a word of complaint. He showed up for work the next day wearing a sling.
Wow.
Frank Darabont watched Goodfellas every Sunday while shooting the film to draw inspiration from it on the use of voiceover and the passage of time. Although it is never directly stated in the film, Brooks is in prison for allegedly murdering his wife. Oh, sorry, here we are, yeah, sorry. For allegedly murdering his wife and daughter after a losing streak at poker. Several deleted scenes, and Frank Darabont just doesn't put them on the DVD. He doesn't, like, delete, he's like Kubrick. Deleted scenes just do nothing for him. He doesn't think there, you know, there's a point to people seeing them. I don't agree. I like deleted scenes. A sequence where the convicts find Jake, the Brooks's pet crow, dead in a field sometime after Brooks has left the prison, and they give Jake a funeral and burial. That would have been nice. Tommy's young wife visiting him, their conversations providing a more vivid illustration into why Tommy decides to turn his life around. After Andy's escape, an unfortunate guard is sent into his tunnel to see where it leads, and when he sees the sewage pipe broken and smells the overwhelming odour of shit, he vomits loudly. Red hears this happen from his own cell and cracks up laughing. He's sent to solitary confinement for 2 weeks where he continues laughing, thus learning for himself what Andy, in the aftermath of the loudspeaker incident, had meant about easy time in the hole. That's nice, but you got to keep it up. Red's feelings on the 1960s after he is paroled, as well as a panic attack in the grocery store that sends him running to a bathroom cubicle that calms him down because it reminds him of his cell.
Oh.
Thus making his choice to find the tree and rock more meaningful because it runs counter Obviously.
Well, that would have been nice.
To Brooks' choice. Is this the best movie narration of all time? I've got some nominees. This, Goodfellas, American Psycho, Memento, Fight Club, Apocalypse Now, The Royal Tenenbaums. Can you think of any others? Wolf of Wall Street's got a good one. I sort of gave all the Scorsese's. Big Fish is good. However, you cannot beat Freeman in this. I mean, he became the king of narration, didn't he? All the March of the Penguins stuff I haven't seen.
Did you say American Beauty? That's a good narration.
Oh, that is good.
That's a good narration.
But that sort of drops off after the openings. It's just the opening scene and the closing scene.
I think I'd probably say American Psycho is up there with Shawshank for me. That's
definitely. I agree.
That's good narration.
Carruthers is an asshole.
Huey Lewis and the Jews.
And the who?
Huey Lewis and the Jews.
You said Huey Lewis and the Jews, which is not what the band is called. Famously, Huey Lewis and the News.
It's Family Guy again. It's Family Guy.
For sure. We don't need a sequel, but I would watch. I don't know. Watch like a nice little retirement drama. Well, obviously they're retired. They're not going to go to work. But like Red and Andy running a little hotel.
Or maybe someone else trying to. Have you seen the movie Escape Plan with with Stallone and Schwarzenegger?
Oh, they find them and then they get sent back to prison and they have to escape again. God damn it!
Is it based on anyone? Is it based on anyone?
King did a lot of research on Prison Breaks, and so it's sort of an amalgamation, but it's like it's like small parts from a lot. I find I'm too excited to hold a thought in my head. I hope I'll see my friend again. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it is in my dreams. I hope. Beautiful. Very good. Right, I've been Thomas Carruthers.
I've been Will Leggetter.
And I'm Lucy Hewitt.
Ooh.
Oh, we're singing.
Should I got my trombone? My trombone. I didn't know what to say, trombone or xylophone, so I said trombone. And then I did this, even though that's not a xylophone, that's a harmonica. So, or a pan flute.
That's a
harmonica. Not a pan flute. What are they called? Panpipes. No, pan flute. It's gone really well. Ooh, doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Boo.